Hi guys, welcome to section 2. In this section we're going to look at how to create folders and find files or find things that you already have inside of Google Drive. So you see here we're on a Google Drive homepage. Just down the side here we've got My Drive, anything that's been shared with me, and then again any recent files that you've got there. So the first thing we want to do is if you want to create a folder. So you see I've got a couple folders here already stored and organized, but let's say I want to create a new folder. So again, I come up here to the New button, and there's some options. One of them right at the top is a new folder. When you do that, it's going to ask you for the name of the folder. We'll just call that test folder. And then we create that, and then you should see that then pop up here in your files. So one of the options for then when I open the folder, obviously I just created it, so I don't have any files there. You can see there I can drag and drop files, or what a lot of people like to do is if they're making new documents, go ahead and navigate their way to the folder they'd like them in, and then they create their new files with the Google Suite. So that way it automatically stores them in that folder. You don't have to move it, copy it, organize it. If you create it from that folder page, which is where I am here. So let's say I do a new, and I'm going to do Google Docs, which you know from the last video is sort of the word processing spot for Google. So it's going to open an untitled document. Say I come up here and we just name it test doc. Okay. We got our test doc. We'll put, Easter's coming up. I'm just going to put Easter page there. So we navigate our way back to Drive. Now I'm inside of that test folder, and you see that doc is already there right away. To go back to your Google Drive homepage, if you just click on My Drive, that'll always take you back to the home page. So we see there's the test folder, there's some other folders I have. You'll notice that these folders they're color coded, so that's kind of just a cool way to visually help organize your information as well. So if you right click on that folder, one of the options is change color. And so let's say we'll go purple, and that'll change your folder to be purple. So it's just kind of a cool way to kind of color code your information, or if you'd like to do that. Also some other options in that menu you see there in terms of those rename, which you could rename the folder, but one that I think is overlooked, people don't use, is this add to starred. So if you have a lot of if you've got a folder or you've got files that you access all the time, so something that you're regularly opening, and if you've got folders organized, you don't want to have to navigate your way all the way through your folders to find it. If you take that, let's say just even the test folder, and we say I'm going to add that to starred. Over here on the left-hand side, there's a starred menu hiding behind my face here, that when you click on starred, you'll see here that it basically makes a shortcut menu for you. And so you can do that, and when I go back to My Drive, you'll see that there's a star there. Okay, and so we'll get that in that test folder. It's just a shortcut. It's just a way to get to it if you'd like to quickly. Let's say, for example, you've got other files that you'd like to add to that folder. So here I've got one down here. This is the sort of just basic instructions for Google Drive getting started. So there's two ways to do that. One, you could drag and you could drop it into test folder or whatever folder you wanted to. That's one way to move them off the Google Drive homepage. You can also right click and move to, and then you can navigate your way here through this menu, test folder, and then you can move it that way as well. You can also from this menu add or create new folders. So if you wanted to create a folder inside a folder or subfolders, you can do it that way as well. So that starred menu is pretty handy to have to be able to navigate that way. Also, the second part is outside of creating folders or navigating, organizing, storing, is the ability to find files specifically. And that's where this search bar at the top comes in handy. So for example, we just did, the one we just did, let's just say I know it's called test doc. Right? So I search And anything with the words test or doc in the title are going to pop up. So there's our first one right there, which is the one we just made. There's also a folder here, docs test assignment, all kinds of tests that I've made over the course of a few years here. So anyway, good search tool there. And you can search for anything if you know the name of your file or maybe a word or two in the name. Let's say that you forget. Like, I remember what it was called. I know it was called something, but I was talking about, say, whatever it is. There's an advanced search option here. If you click the down arrow, you can narrow down or you could be more specific about your search. And so, for example, the first one, and this one's really handy, is file type. So let's say you're looking specifically for an image. Okay, so we'll switch it over to photos and images. Now it's going to search for images, and they only have the word, let's say, test in them. Okay, so we've got our down arrow, okay, for the advanced search. We're looking anywhere, and then we'll do a search. Now it only returns, you see, image files down the sides, JPEGs, PNGs. So anything with test, okay, in it there, right, we've got those image files that are there. Other ways to narrow it down, you can search it by owner. This is pretty cool. Anything that was shared with you, if you know that someone sent something to you or shared something to you, you can search by, say, a specific person, and you could enter like an email address. So if I know that Mr. Bielefeld shared something specifically with me and I remember that it was in spreadsheets or it was a Google Sheet, I can search specifically by the person who shared it with me. If it's anywhere starred. The other thing down here, if we want to, this is the one that's really helpful. If we remember specifically, we'll switch this and get this back off of here. Okay. That we don't remember the name, says has the words. We don't remember the name of the file, but we remember what the topic was or the content was or some text that was inside of it. So for example, type Easter in that doc that I had made. And if we do a quick search here, it will search for anything that's got the word Easter inside of the document itself. And so there's a lot of different things here, but you'll see right there, there's my test doc that I just made. And again, once I navigate to that or I find myself there, I can then right click and I can move to, once I find that, if I want to organize those files or I want to move them into something else, I can take them that way as well. The last thing is inside of Gmail. We'll flip over here to a Gmail window. You can actually add things to your Google Drive from Gmail without having to open them, whatever it happens to be if someone sends you Google files. So here's something that was shared with me. If I go down here, it shows up like as an attachment. Something, just a little hint to be aware of. If you get this Google Drive icon, it says save to drive. If it's black and white, that means it has not yet been added to your drive. So I haven't saved this file to my drive yet. If it's in color, that means that I have added it to my drive. So I can click Save to Drive. That's going to give me my option here. It's added to my drive right away. Okay, so you'll see it here. It's on my home page. But let's say I want to go ahead and from this point inside Gmail, I want to organize it and I want to put it in the folder. All right, so I'll navigate my way to this test folder right here, and then I can move it to the test folder. Or if I want to, I can go ahead and add new folders from this. So this is really nice. You can actually do some Google Drive work from inside of your Gmail. So I can move that there, start organizing and storing my files that people share with me from inside of Gmail. Thanks, guys.